This is the UK, home of Shakespeare and home to, right now, 68 million people. The food is gross. Well, it's also amazing as well. I'd 9 times out of 10 eat an American cheeseburger or a Korean bulgogi over fish and chips, but tikka masala is the national dish, and Indian food in the UK is probably as good as it gets outside of India itself. The crime, you would think the UK is full of sophisticated tea drinkers in their polite but sarcastic manner, but I can tell you now, I'd rather be walking around a rough area in Munich as opposed to a rough area of Manchester. And this is in the context of European standards, so before the Americans start yelling at me,
The UK is not dangerous, bro. Come to Detroit, man.
it's European standards, so obviously it's going to be less. But speaking of Detroit, Bradford is now the Detroit of Europe, being ranked as the most dangerous on the continent, even ahead of Marseille and Naples. And another thing is the unhealthy lifestyle. Overdrinking and food that is bad enough to give you a heart attack at age 30 by just looking at it is one of the reasons why the UK is one of the fattest countries in Europe. In fact, if we exclude Malta and Turkey, the UK is literally the fattest country in Europe. And the UK is super overpopulated. Unless you're a millionaire, you're going to live in a tiny house. Everyone in the UK lives in a tiny house. If we exclude the microstates, England is literally the most densely populated country in Europe, even ahead of the Netherlands and Belgium. The cost of living here for everything sucks. Everything's expensive. Well, maybe not as much as the Scandinavian countries, but a €270,000 house in France will be a lot better value than a £270,000 house in the UK. The infrastructure here, it does its job, it functions, but you'll be surprised at how many times you can go to a mid-sized town and struggle to get a 4G connection. Okay, the UK is not the worst country to live in the world, let's not be stupid. But if you're going on a bunch of Hollywood romance film stereotypes, you are likely going to be more surprised than not. So there it is, that's been my ranty TED talk on the worst things about living in the UK. There are a lot of good things obviously as well, but that was out of the scope of this video. Who knows, I might be able to even challenge myself to make a video entitled Why I Like Living in the UK, if I haven't invented a time machine or a AI girlfriend by then. Au revoir.